Oh, my name is Dave Bergeson. I serve as Vice President of Client Relations at Association Management Center in Chicago. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with one of my favorite colleagues at AMC, Stephanie Dilkowitz, Director of Strategic Event Management at AMC. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thanks, Dave. Happy to be here.
Great. So today, Stephanie and I are going to talk a little bit about an important aspect of conference and event management, specifically considerations for how to select the best location for your conference. So, Stephanie, tell me, what are some key considerations in selecting a location for a conference?
Thanks, Dave. So actually, site selection is obviously a process that begins normally years in advance of the actual event. Many of our larger events are contracting 5+ years in the future. But site selection is a lot more than just finding the right venue in the right city and booking the space. It's a process that includes obviously a lot of strategy that goes into the initial RFP process, looking at, what are the event objectives overall and considering the needs of the attendees, the budget revenue goals, and what is the actual then physical space needs for the actual meeting space, sleeping rooms. Those are all components that go into the RFP. And then once the RFP does get distributed and proposals are considered, there's a lot of weight that goes into the different criteria. And then obviously the negotiation contracting phase is another last component that goes into it.
I imagine among the things you consider, not only details about the facility, footprint, cost, things like that, but also unique things about the society and the association, where people are located geographically, preferences, things like that. Is that right?
Yes, definitely.
So it's always been challenging to find the perfect place to meet, but over the last few years, we've seen an additional element to add to the decision-making process. And specifically, associations and societies are considering ethical and social justice issues in these decisions more than they've ever done before. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing regarding these emerging and, quite frankly, emerged issues.
Yeah, definitely. Ethical considerations have always played a role in site selections, but they're definitely playing a much larger role lately. As you mentioned, potential conflicts are unavoidable at this point. It's an ever-moving target, a changing landscape, and new political laws are being introduced on a daily basis. So having those conversations have become a lot more frequent, and like I mentioned, weighing a lot more heavily in selections of future sites.
Suppose that a board is struggling with this issue a bit. Are there any resources available to help with the decision-making process?
Yeah, our team itself here has a framework of questions that we work through when we're looking at sites for future selections, or even sites that are currently contracted that we're having these ethical conversations around. Scanning the environment is always sort of the first step, looking at what legislation is in place, what actual ethical considerations need to be taken into account. Like I mentioned, if it's an existing contract, we're looking at the language of those contracts and what obligations might be in place financially, should they look to withdraw from those, or moving forward, looking at the conversation as we're contracting a destination and what considerations we want to consider with that contract language and possibilities to look at obligations with that future selection. Obviously, looking at the impact to attendees all around, if you're looking at either withdrawing from a destination or moving forward with a destination, what does the impact have to the actual members who live in that community, the workers who work in the venues? And you need to look at the reputation of the association, whether it's something that they can move forward with that destination. But it's definitely a conversation that's ongoing and looking at the issues as we move forward.
Oh, that's a great point. It seems to me that clarity in what you're trying to achieve is really important, in getting consensus from the board around what are you looking to do? Are you looking to send a message? Are you looking to support the local community? Are you looking to raise a conversation and bring sunshine onto the issue itself, generate discussion? So clarity and around what you're trying to achieve seems to be really important. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would, definitely.
So Stephanie, any final words of wisdom for us?
Well, I think it's been a theme through our conversation, but relying on communication, listening, having the conversations. Look at your resources. Like we mentioned, our staff here at AMC are a great resource. Everybody's in this situation. The industry is going through this together. it's an ongoing conversation and things that groups are addressing on a daily basis.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Stephanie.
Thank you.